Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video, again talking about SUI and what's happening with the breakout. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, smash that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you below this video. Grab it down below in the description and let's talk about SUI. So we've been covering SUI pretty extensively for the past year and a half on the channel here. Go back, check out all those videos. We've been talking about it since many of these lows all through the spring, summer 2024, even going all the way back to Q1 of that year as well. So lots of exciting stuff happening with SUI in general. But what I want to focus on here today is this more recent breakout that we've seen, because over the past 2 to 3 weeks, we've seen some exceptional price action for SUI. And if we measure returns since these lows on April 7th, you can see that we're currently up 95% for the price action of SUI in a 19-day period. Less than 3 weeks, we've done a 94% gain. And in fact, we went as high as about $3.79 here just a day ago, which was almost a 120% gain in an 18-day period. So again, very lucrative opportunity here with SUI in the short term over the past 2.5 to 3 weeks. But this is what I've been trying to hammer home here over the past year and a half talking about SUI, because it just reminds me so much of Solana from the previous cycle. So what's happened is we had these lows on April 7th, we had a period of consolidation, and if I actually just look at the chart here and draw in this this line, we did technically have a breakout, and I spoke about this on the last video. We did have a breakout of the downtrend that we'd been in since those middle of January highs back here on March 24th. We had a big run up here. We actually came all the way back down to retest the trend line, got a bounce, we consolidated, and now we made a move much, much higher. Over the past few days, as you can pretty clearly see, we have managed to close back above the 200-day simple moving average, which bodes pretty well, I think, for SUI to be able to move on and potentially move higher over the coming weeks and months. Okay, of course, this is not guaranteed, guys. This is not financial advice. Always make sure to do your own research when you are looking at these assets. But what I'm looking at here on the chart right now is for the potential of SUI to basically come back down to try and retest that 200-day simple moving average. Hopefully we can see it holding, getting a little bit of a bounce to consolidate, and hopefully move higher from there. So again, we had this clean break that happened in such a quick period. Look at this 3-day move. This 3-day move alone from April 22nd through April 25th was a 55% gain, okay? That 55% gain happened so quickly. We reclaimed the 200-day. It's not going to surprise me for us to come back down, retest it before moving higher over the coming weeks and months. And again, we've been looking at this for the past few months. I'm just going to bring up the Bitcoin chart to illustrate the global M2 liquidity index, because what we're starting to see is Bitcoin and SUI now, along with the rest of the market, starting to follow global M2 liquidity now that we've seen the bottom happening here around the 7th, 8th of April, and price action moving to the upside to follow global M2. And I think we will have potential to see Bitcoin moving and continuing to move in this direction. Hopefully we can reclaim $100,000 in the coming weeks and months and push on to retest those all-time highs around $109,000. So SUI is poised to make bigger moves if that happens for Bitcoin. Again, that is still a big if, guys, but what I'm basically seeing, and this pattern continues to play out with SUI, is that it is one of the leading altcoins every time Bitcoin has a move to the upside. So when we see Bitcoin making a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% move to the upside, SUI is doing exponentially better in terms of percentage gains. You're seeing Bitcoin making a 6 to 10% move, and SUI is making a 60 to 70% move. So it's a huge multiple on what you're doing versus Bitcoin, and this is where the potential lies with an asset like SUI during this cycle. The other chart I want to look at very quickly is SUI dominance. Again, we've been watching this chart over the past number of months, and SUI dominance, obviously as price was retracing here, had a big retracement in terms of dominance as well. And what we're seeing now is SUI dominance also reclaiming that 200-day simple moving average. We went even higher above the 200-day on the SUI dominance chart, and you can see that we're having a little bit of consolidation as we speak. But in terms of SUI dominance, we have seen SUI get as high as almost 0.5% dominance, simply meaning SUI's market cap at this point in the middle of January made up half of 1% of the entire crypto market cap. And so we're marching back towards those highs already. And in my opinion, I think SUI does have the potential to be getting up to somewhere around 1% dominance by the peak of the cycle. So again, we need to wait and see what happens. This is not guaranteed, but SUI getting to 1% dominance by the peak of the cycle is actually only doing slightly better than 1/3 of what Solana did in the previous cycle. If we look at Solana's dominance and zoom out here to the weekly, going all the way back to the peak of Solana dominance during 2021's cycle, Solana got all the way up to 2.88% dominance by the peak of the cycle in November 2021. And what I'm saying is, SUI reminds me so much of Solana, but even if SUI only does a little bit better than 1/3 of what Solana did, that would put you at a 1% dominance level. And a 1% dominance level for SUI in a market that goes to 579 trillion puts prices somewhere in the region of these numbers here that I ran a couple of months ago. It puts you in the region of maybe somewhere around $19 to $20 in my base case. So with a $7 trillion total crypto market cap and SUI getting to that 1% dominance level, that's going to give us a $70 billion market cap for SUI around a $20 price target. Again, we need to see total crypto market cap getting up close to that $7 trillion number for this to happen. And even in a bull case, if we went higher, if we went more like 8, 9, 10 trillion dollars and SUI gets up to 1.25% dominance, that's going to give us a price target for SUI closer to that $31 mark. So again, let me know, guys, drop a comment below. Do you want me to run new numbers for this SUI price target? I still think the targets that I have on the screen here are intact in terms of their potential to actually hit for SUI, given that it is one of the leading alts that makes these exponential moves every time Bitcoin has a move to the upside. The other thing of note here, I've been talking about SUI being, we're getting into the top 10 cryptos for a number of months as well. And what you're seeing here is, technically speaking, SUI is listed as the 11th largest token or asset here on CoinMarketCap by ranked by market cap. But what you'll notice is that includes USDC and USDT Tether in the top 10 tokens. So if we actually remove those, SUI is technically the 9th largest crypto token by total market cap, excluding stablecoins. And I still think SUI has potential to move much, much higher this cycle. Look at this number here, 57% gains over the past 7 days, phenomenal returns, and it's smoking most everything else here in the top 50 over the past week. You can see Pepe as a meme coin is up 26%. I'm literally trying to find official Trump is up 79%, another meme coin. But as a layer 1 blockchain protocol, high throughput, highly scalable, highly efficient, there's nothing else that's coming close to those kind of gains other than meme coins on this list. So very interesting to see that price action over the past week or so. And the other metric I want to highlight here for SUI is the on-chain activity. Daily active addresses continuing to increase and grow for SUI over the past few months. What we're looking at here is daily active addresses across major blockchain networks over the past 90 days. Of course, Solana in the lime green here still leading the way by a long shot. You have Solana consistently doing 4 to 5 million daily active addresses. You have Near Protocol, the vast majority of these transactions coming from one specific app in Asia. We have Tron in the red. Again, most of the action happening on Tron coming specifically from stablecoin remittances and transactions happening in Asia. And then, interestingly, look at this pale blue here. This baby blue color on the chart is SUI, consistently doing over 1.5 to 2.5 million daily active addresses. And the thing I'm trying to highlight here is if we zoom in on the chart, this has really happened over the past 30 to 60 days. It has leapfrogged and overtaken both Base Network and Ethereum mainnet in terms of how many daily active addresses we're seeing on Solana's network. So I think, again, this daily active addresses being consistently between 2 and 2.5 million bodes well for us to see the continued growth of SUI's network from an adoption standpoint. Again, if you've used SUI, you really do know how quick and efficient it is when executing trades and transactions on-chain natively on SUI's blockchain. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend it. I've done tons of videos about SUI protocols like Cetus, SUI Lend, Navi Protocol, Turbos, different DEXs where you can provide liquidity, staking protocols like Spring SUI and Volo. Check those out on the channel as well, guys. But I'm just making the point that when you see on-chain adoption picking up, starting to outpace other leading layer 2 networks like Base on Ethereum and the Ethereum mainnet itself, I think that does bode pretty well for SUI over the coming weeks and months. So that's the quick update for SUI today, guys. I think there's lots of potential here over the coming weeks and months. I think short term, this breakout, it's natural that we would have a little bit of consolidation here, possibly before another move higher. We've seen this in the past. When SUI makes these big moves, it'll have a consolidation period for a week or two before making an even bigger move, consolidating again, and another big move. So I don't think this is the end for SUI, and I think there is lots more potential with SUI's price action, given that we're seeing global M2 increasing up and to the right, Bitcoin starting to follow that. And if Bitcoin makes another 5 to 10% move over the coming weeks, I think you're going to see SUI doing some pretty good multiples. Okay, today video, guys, is sponsored by the UIG community. Make sure to check that out in the comments or in the description below this video. Again, I'm helping a bunch of clients over here in the UIG. If you want to learn how to provide liquidity, how to generate consistent cash flow using DeFi protocols by providing liquidity and earning yield every single hour, every single day, check out the UIG. There's a link below this video for you to check it out. It's also sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. I'm also leaving a referral link for Femex in the description below as well. Check it out for yourself. Again, guys, nothing in this video is financial advice. Always do your own research. Check out the fundamentals, check out the charts, check out the technicals. Make sure to read up on these different assets and protocols. If you got any value out of today's video, please give it a thumbs up below. Hit that subscribe button as well. Smash the bell notification icon. And again, you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin linked below the video. Grab it for yourself, and we'll catch you in the next one.